Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So, this is number 10. This is going to be kind of a recap video. I thought by now we'd be coding the armor and equipment. I don't know if we're there quite yet. So what I have done is, let's go over it here. So I worked on the stats window a little bit, added player money, player experience, and the player level, and of course it updates when you click on it. And then we have our inventory. I need to add the icons. So how the inventory works is we go through and there's an NPC. They're actually oh my goodness, he might actually kill me here. Oh, what did that did do nothing? Oh no. Oh, that sword does so much damage. Oh, look at that, I almost got oofed. Okay, so now when we kill the enemy, when we open it up, what it does is it will randomly generate loot. So in this case, it only generated coins, but it will randomly generate everything we need. A weapon, a shield, a helmet, and then the 3 different types of potions. And then that saves. So then it adds that to our total inventory pool, which is cool. So I'm going to go over that. That's basically what I've been coding. It's taking me about a couple more hours to do that. So what I had to do was create a spawn script for the enemy. And that spawn script is handled in this object here. Right when you walk through it. So first things first, the player name goes into the sword, and then when the player walks through this, the player's name is transferred from the sword to the name in here, and then that goes to the NPC. So when the NPC spawns in, it runs towards the player. That's basically how that works. I think there's a video about that. Okay, so it's just move to position, and then we get the human's position. Right there, player name dot value, move to it. I'm just trying to get it to swing the weapon at the same time, so I haven't been able to do that yet. So, moving on. In the enemy's head, that is where we have the master loot script. So this does everything. This gives us a random amount of coins. Oh, you know what? Cash S. Ah, I realized that was a mistake. Okay. There we go. I'll have to try that again. Okay, so we get a random amount of coins between 1 and 100, which we can tweak. We then, with a random roll, if it rolls a number 3, we'll get a random chance of having up to 5 potions. So health potion, mana potion, stamina potion all have the same roll values. And I just use that for the rest of them, right? So if we get this number, it gives us a sword. If we get this number, it gives us a shield, and so on and so forth. It's really simple. And then we get some cash money, and we get some experience for killing the enemy. And then what it does is it saves all of that. And then it removes the enemy. So the only way to get the enemy to respawn is by going through the door. But the door will check to see if the player already exists. And if the player already exists, it's not going to double spawn. Oh. Oh no, no. So close to dying, right? So there, now we got some potions. I think we got some potions there. Because I haven't put the graphics on yet. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I didn't realize it was on a continuous loop. It's supposed to stop. Loop. Yeah, at the end of it, it's supposed to turn the value off. All right, let's try that one more time. So that's basically where we're at. We're just moving on. So now, because this is kind of like a dungeon thing, so you're gonna have your weapon out, right? You obviously you run through these blocks, they activate stuff, and then you kill, you kill these guys, and then so what needs to be done now? We need to start giving stats to this label above the player. Yeah, and I got some potions, I got some other stuff. Okay, and then you also get cash and experience. Every time you kill them, you get experience. Okay, it didn't loop that time. There we go. So that's basically that. So that's what you want to do. You want to have your master script for the loot, and then you can put that in any object. And it'll randomly generate, like I say, when you put those random numbers in there, it'll randomly generate the fields that you want, right? So if it hits that number, it gives us that object. If it hits that number, it gives us that object. Now, as far as handling the, let's go over the interface. Okay, as far as handling like the total cash, the experience, and the level, I don't have number values set up for that yet. So the total value is in here, right? Like we have a maximum level set to 60, and then our cash, our total number of cash, and then our total experience. So perhaps that'll be just the totals you can earn, and then when that number gets to a certain, when it equals a certain point, then you can increase your level, which will increase your health, your mana, and your stamina, and so on and so forth. So we are almost there. We are almost there. We have an enemy that spawns in now when we go through a block. We finished connecting our stats. We finished giving ourselves like the potions and that. So that's the next thing that needs to be worked on, are these potions. What does it give me? 10? Should give me like 50. 50 health. Let's see if that works. Of course, we don't know which is which, so I'll have to drink all three. Alright, so let's get damaged. Alright. I don't think that worked. So what are we trying to do here? Oh, because it gives mana. But mana, game stats. Hold on. Okay, so what we need to do here in the health potion is we need to get rid of this. We need to say script parent remove, and then we want to say humanoid dot health equals humanoid dot health plus 50 plus bonus. All right. Whew. All right. There he goes. Okay. So the mana potion we want to change. Oh yeah, these ones are going to be different than the health potion. These ones can stay. Yeah, and that doesn't have to save. It can just change the value of the stamina. And then for game stats, is it capital S? Let's find out. Player added. It is capital S. Now these don't save. I don't think they need to save because we're just regenerating them anyways. So that's why these aren't connected. They're just like a quick boost. So now the last thing that we want to do before we really get into coding the rest of the items, we're pretty well close. If you finished your loot script and you created a loop where the enemy will spawn, you know we have our damage spawn here. This is the enemy spawn. Say there's a room here. You go through the door, the enemy comes in. That sort of stuff. Then what we want to do is we want to go back into our weapon, our sword. And we want to make this thing consume stamina when we activate it. So we want to say, player dot, and then we're going to need to go to our player added script, dot game stats, dot stamina, dot value equals, and we could say, we could just create an amount. We could say local equals, yeah, we could say 10, and then we could say minus amount. Perfect. Let's see if that works. Every time we swing the sword, our stamina should go down. Oh, that's because it's in the backpack. So what we need to do is, we need to say, game, and then we need to say local names equals script dot parent dot player name dot value, and we need to say game. Oh boy, get service players, and then we need to say find first child. Names. Alright. Dot game stats. Alright, let's see if this is going to work here. It does, but we have so much stamina. I wonder why we have so much stamina. Let's see, what is going on with this position save? So that saves the stamina, but there is it this one here? I gotta find out where this oh, position save. Alright, so the position save, if we go to replicated storage and we look at our regen script, aha, it saves that value. Now the problem is we didn't tell it to stop saving when the value goes to a certain amount. So it's just saving the value. So it's been continuously adding 5 to the stamina since forever. So what I need to do now is I need to disable this script. And I need to really quickly modify this button so it changes the stamina back to 0 and the mana back to 0. Let's see. I think it was 2250. So we want to say player. Let's see. Player.gamestats.stamina.value. There we go, and then it can save that to the stamina. Oh, we need to get that repeat call here, which I can get from I guess I just changed there. Where's the stamina? Shield. Stamina. Alright, we'll do this. This is easier. Everything else can stay the same. All we need to do is change the variable and make sure that we are saving the right value. Here and here. Okay, and now it should reset my stamina. Well, let's see what the value is first. $17.35. Okay, so 1735, 1735. All right. That's this one here. All right, now my stamina should be 0, and then the mana is 2450. All right, so 2450, and this one is going to be, is it capital M? Let's see, let's get this here. Root scripts. All right, and then we just need that. Alright, so both should be reset now. Stamina is at 0, mana is at 0. There we go. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to change that around. I guess we don't want the regeneration script to save. Probably not a good idea. Yeah, probably not a good idea. So we could just have it so that way it regenerates these values. But what we want to do is we want to give it a maximum. So where do we want to store this maximum value? We may as well store it. This is position save. So we could just insert object and number value. Alright, we are going to enable this script, but we don't want it to connect to the data store anymore because it doesn't need to save. So we don't need these p calls either. So the stamina and the mana, they're just values that we can increase and decrease. So what we want to do is we're going to increase them, but we want to say we need to give if statements for each individual one. Health doesn't matter because it will only ever regenerate to a maximum anyways. So for this one here, I'll just separate them out. Now we want to say, we want to copy that and let's if stamina.value is, let's say, greater than 100, then no, is less than 100, then do this. We'll say else it can wait. And then we want to say if that is less than 100, do this. Else, wait. Alright, so that works there, that works there. Now it should just regenerate up to a point, and it should stop, and it's not going to save. Oh, whoops. It should just regenerate, and then when it gets to 100. So what we need to do now is when we develop our level system, that is where we're going to have these total variables, total stamina, total mana. So when this is regenerating, it's going to regenerate up to those values. And there we go. So now it's generating. So it should generate up to 100. And then it'll stop. So then if we're, say, level 2, then it'll go to maybe 150. And if we're level 3, for example, it might go to 200. And that way you get the idea here. And that way these are values that we just have that we can... So then if I... There we go. Now the stamina is going down. Cool. So now that we have that all written into the code, I didn't realize it was saving the whole time. I'm glad I caught that. What we need to do now is in the weapon, when it consumes the stamina. So we need to say if is greater than 10, do all of this, okay? Else, and we can just print, oh, whoops, that's part of that, right? All right, else, yeah, we could do that. Actually, we could just make it so you can't chop. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So now you can't swing. And then in the label up here, it'll say need more stamina. Right? Stamina is at 5%. It'll say need more stamina or too tired. Too tired. And then, so then if you're too tired, we'll just have to code a little bit more in that. So that's going to do it for today's video. I just kind of wanted to give an update of where I'm at. This is part 10. We finished the loot script. As you saw, it compiles a random amount of loot that we can then transfer to the player. Here in our master inventory, this is just loot that the player is going to then sell for money, for cash. And it's the cash that they're going to need to be able to upgrade their weapons. So that's what we're going to program next, is going to be the player weapons. So the player is going to be able, they're going to have base stats, right? These weapons will have base stats, and the player will be able to increase those stats using money and other things. So we're almost there. We're almost there. I know it's not much as, it's been like 10 or 12 hours. There's probably another 10 or 12 hours, and then we'll be there. But we'll be there soon. And thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.